Hi, my name is Tony, and today I'm going to show you how to make Instant Pot mashed potatoes from foodsharingvegan.com. I have already chopped my potatoes. This is 4 pounds, so if you have a 5-pound bag, make sure you wash them. You don't have to peel them if you don't want to. I'm always trying to remove the extra step of work. So I just washed mine, gave them a good scrub to get the dirt off, and then I chopped them. This is what mine look like. You just want to make sure that they are uniform so that they cook at the same time. And remember that the smaller they are, the faster they cook. I'm going to pour these directly in my Instant Pot right now. There's nothing in it, just these potatoes. If you are buying the single larger potatoes, I would say about 4 or 5 will work. I'm putting the printable recipe down in the caption so you can check that out too. But 4 to 5 should work, or take a few out of a 5-pound bag and that should work. I also wanted to mention that this is a 6-quart standard Instant Pot. You can find one of these anywhere. There are great sales for Black Friday or Prime Day, depends on when you're watching this, but I got mine in the used section on Amazon, and it has this big dent in it. You can see someone purchased it and returned it with this big dent, and I got a discount. So if you are still in the market for one, you can get one used, and I think I saved about $30. You can also find them these days in Buy Nothing groups on Facebook. I have seen them there. You can even ask for one, ISO Instant Pot. And I've even seen them at Goodwill. So they're much more accessible these days, and I love mine and use it all the time. Next, I'm adding in about a head. It's a small head of garlic. This is 10 cloves, and I've peeled them. You can see right here, they are all peeled, and they are on the medium side. And I'm just gonna toss those in there as well. Then I'm gonna take some water and submerge the potatoes. I am not in an actual kitchen. I'm in my filming studio, so I don't have access to a sink. But if I were in my kitchen, I would just take this over to the sink and make sure that they were fully submerged, as you can see right here. And I'm gonna add just a little bit more water, but I don't wanna add too much because then it takes a lot longer to build the pressure and takes more time. What I like about this recipe though is that during the holiday season when I make them, I'm looking for ways to spare my stovetop and my oven. And I can have this cooking and not have to worry about stirring it or checking the water because it's set it and forget it style. I just set it. Now I'm going to leave it undisturbed for 5 minutes. You'll hear the timer go off on your Instant Pot. And then I'm going to do my quick release. I'll come back so I can show you what that looks like. It's all finished pressure cooking. And now, depending on which Instant Pot you have or other electric pressure cooker, it can be a little bit dangerous. Once we move the seal to venting, then it can sometimes splash hot water. It's not a splash, it's more of like a mist. And we don't want to get hurt. You don't especially want to get it on your face. So with this one, I have 2, the one that I use for work and then the one that we use up for our house. The newer models have a cover that prevent that mist from spraying everywhere, but this is the older one and it does not have that. Okay, now I'm gonna go. Also, it will take a couple minutes to release that steam, especially if you're doing it right after it's done pressure cooking. Make sure you have a towel around. Sometimes it can be a mess. I sometimes will keep the towel, and if it starts spraying too crazy, I'll just drop the towel over it and it prevents it from splashing and spraying everywhere. Also, beware, your house will definitely smell like garlic after this, which I personally love. It smells so good in here, but because we've got 10 cloves of garlic, it does have a powerful garlic smell. Now I'm going to remove the lid. Be careful, spill out once you lift the lid. So when I lift the lid, I try to do it over the pot so that it can capture some of that buildup of condensation and it doesn't spray hot water all over me. This is what it looks like now. You can still see the garlic cloves. That looks like a garlic clove right there. And then these are cooked. To ensure they're cooked all the way though, I'm gonna give them a fork test. We want them to be fork tender, which means when the fork goes in, it should go in easily without any tension. Now I'm going to take this pot. This pot is the old version, and so it doesn't have handles attached to the pot. So when I carry this pot, because it's really hot, I use my oven mitt. And that makes me able to easily carry it. I'm gonna go drain it and I'll be right back. I have drained my potatoes. Everything is looking good. And now I'm gonna add in 1 cup of plain unsweetened almond milk, but you can use whichever one you have on hand. Make sure it is not vanilla flavored. You do not want your garlic mashed potatoes tasting like vanilla. And make sure it's not sweetened, because it really does pick up, because people aren't used to having a sweetness in their garlic mashed potatoes. So unsweetened, plain, plant-based milk, any variety. And add that directly in there. Then add in some vegan butter. I am using this Earth Balance, and I like to use the sticks because they're pre-measured. And this is 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons, and I'm just gonna drop those directly into my pot. Then I'm gonna add in some salt. This is 1 teaspoon to start. We might add a little bit more later. It also depends on if you're using unsalted vegan butter or salted vegan butter. I'm using salted, and I like them to be a little bit more salty, so do a taste test. See, you can even start with 1/2 teaspoon if you don't like a lot of salt. And then this is 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. This is regular ground pepper. And I'm gonna start mashing everything together, and then I'll move over to a spoon and then use that to mix things up even further. Do you like chunks in your mashed potatoes, or do you like them to be completely smooth? You have a couple ways to mash. You can do it by hand, which is what I'm doing. It's a bit of an arm workout. You can also put some of them in the blender and mix them up that way. You can also use an immersion blender and whiz that through here. But I do it the old-fashioned way. And sometimes I'll use a sturdy wooden spoon, which I'm gonna move over to in a minute once I get the consistency that I'm looking for. I do like some chunks. You can either make it completely smooth, and if you want it creamier, you can add in a splash of plant-based milk or a little bit more butter. I would say plant-based milk to not overdo it on the butter, but you are welcome to do either, really. You just want a little bit more liquid. You can even add in a splash of water. I like doing milk because I like keeping it really creamy, but water works as well. Okay, I think I'm almost done. I forgot to mention anything about the peelings. I have my peelings in here. You can see them right there. And once I plate this, you'll also see it there. I like saving a step, and so I don't peel my vegetables often. This is an example of that. I want to be in and out of the kitchen. Move these over and use one of my pretty serving dishes. I actually bought this when I was making the plant-based on a budget cookbook because I didn't have a lot of dishes at the time. I was on a very, very tight budget, and I think I might have too many mashed potatoes for this, so let me look again. All right, I'm gonna put whatever fits in here, and then I'll store the rest later. We're just eating these for dinner tonight and giving some to neighbors because this is 4 pounds of mashed potatoes. But I think I can get half of the mashed potatoes in this casserole dish, so I will take that. I think I got it at Marshall's or Home Goods. Love shopping at both of them for good deals if I'm buying something new, but usually I just go to Goodwill and see what I can find there. I have a lot of gravy recipes coming. If they're not posted already, I'll link them down below if I have already posted them. But I have a brown gravy and a vegan sausage gravy, and then a 4-ingredient super simple gravy. That's the one I usually make when I'm hosting for the holidays, and they all pair perfectly with this, as well as my tofurkey that I eat or the celebration roast. And let's see. So creamy, packed with flavor. The garlic is not overpowering. It gives a nice depth of flavor. I recommend adding it if If you don't have garlic, you can also use garlic powder or garlic granules, and you'll still get that delicious garlic flavor. If you decide to make this, please let me know how it goes. I am considering just doing one on the stovetop as well. If you want to see that, let me know. Drop it in the comments and I will film something that is similar but for the stove. All right, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.